welcome back. I've been working on a few new things, and I know this isn't a big deal to everybody, but it is to me. So I started to open it, and I was like, you know what? I should do an unboxing, even though it's not that big of a deal. So I already took the little thing off that holds the whatchamacallit. And it's really not that big of a deal, but it kind of is to me. My shoulder hurts today. Oh my Lord. I know my bathroom needs a paint job. Yes, that is fake poop up there. Joe has a poop fetish. My Amazon came today, so I got a whole gallon of vegetable glycerin. I know, exciting for me. You know why? Because that actually helps tan hides, especially snakeskins. So I'm going to be doing some new things. I'm going to be trying some new things, so I can't wait to show you that. So I made a couple things the other night, actually. So let me show you those real quick before I get to my thing. So I decided to try to make, this was the reason why I bought this. So I started to make these. They're little eyeball earrings I'm going to put together. I have to make the other one. So I made those. No, they're no big deal, but they're just cute little, especially when I have extra resin for making things. So I made this. I'm kind of bumming because I should have probably left it as it was. But again, I didn't want it to, like, you know, my biggest thing about making my stuff is, especially learning from the very beginning of the older stuff that I've made, is being able to keep everything intact. I mean, it is handmade, it is jewelry, it can't get wet, can't swim with it, but it is wearable jewelry. And I made this. I've made these before, but with veiled chameleon heads. This one is a Jackson's chameleon. It's kind of a little blurry, but this is actually the moss. And I actually just put a thin layer of resin over the top of that because I've already secured the head. And I didn't resin the head, but I did do the head in a different casing, but I didn't want to have this start to come apart on somebody. So I'm not really sure I like that a lot, but it does keep it all together. And it does kind of make it look like it's a little bit of wetter because it is resin. So I made that. I got to finish, obviously. I'm not finished with this. It does have, so what I did was I took, this is actually the plastic lid. I keep everything, so I use everything. So I get the lids to these cups, and I actually laid this on the lid, which is now stuck to it, which is fine. And I painted this front piece, and this is actually a praying mantis. Kind of hard to see because of the glaring. But I did paint, or I did a paint on the back. And then what I did was I actually put a thin layer of resin over the top of this. Very thin. So it's still a little, I'm going to do another thin layer. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dunk it. But I'm going to do another thin layer of resin over the top of this. Just to secure it. Because I had to do that with the spider necklace that I made. Because that one was super duper delicate. But that wasn't even like the whole spider. It was actually the mold. So I did that. I made this. This I have to finish putting it together also. This is a chameleon tail. Mummified chameleon tail. And I put that in a jar. And I'm getting ready to finish making something with this. I'm actually going to put a white piece of paper behind it so you'll see it better. This is a new mold I just got, which I'm a little disappointed in because it's a really super duper cute mold and it's actually pretty thick. So it's the full coffin. Problem is it looks like it's grained wood. So to try to make an actual clear resin coffin out of this is going to be very difficult because it has like it was supposed to look like wood. So what I did was I put a little bit of dye in the resin, made it a little light, like a minty green, and then I put a rattlesnake skin in it. I only made half of it, which would be the lid technically. I'm actually really going to put a piece of white paper behind that, and then probably a felt, and then I'm probably going to make that into maybe a necklace. I started to make this, and I'm not really sure. I made it so that it could be a necklace. It's obviously a claw. I've already cased this in, and I'm trying to decide if I actually want to put something on it or just leave it be, which I might just leave it be. Because sometimes, you know, but I have a bunch of other little stuff that I haven't, that I'm still working with. I literally just put a clear coat of resin over these. These are bearded dragon feet. They're both encased in resin. Actually, you can see some of the resin still on this little claw. I probably might paint the nails. But I actually positioned them this way for a reason. Because I think I'm going to actually put them together and wrap something or do something in the middle and have them holding onto something. Never know what, but, you know, hey, it might be a globe. So, and then I have this. I just glued the top to it. This, I've done something similar to this before, but it was on a flatter. It wasn't in a dome. So this is actually a little miniature snake. Not miniature, but it's a little tiny snake. It's hard to see in this, but it's actually completely inside, but it is, it's actually completely resined inside. And then on the top, it's only on the top because there's resin, but it's only on the top. And I'm hoping that I put a glow in the dark powder around on the inside of the top. So I'm hoping that when it gets in the light, it'll actually give it a little bit of a glow on the top. We'll test that, and maybe even with a black light. I'll probably be able to test it with a black light. But anyway, so this little snake is completely encased, which again is hard to see because it's there we go. There's his little head. The dark part is his head, and you can even see his little tail going all the way around. So these are some of the things I was making the other night. Oh, and I just spray painted this, so we're going to put something in here. And I have a ton of stuff drying. So this is how I do some dry mummification for small stuff. There's something in each one of these. I pose them and position them, and then I'll change this out like in a day or two. I do have a dehydrator. Believe it or not, it's a food dehydrator. It's a elaborate, it's a pretty good one. That I can use for bigger stuff, but sometimes the smaller stuff, it's easier to just do it this way. So I do have stuff, see, depending. So I have that stuff drying. So anyway, back to so this is my thing. Yep. So anybody that does resin usually does, so again, I already took the, what you call it off, so where the tab was, so I'm getting ready to pull on this. And then I was like, oh, I should do an unboxing. Which is really not an unboxing. It's just a, ooh, check out what I just got, boy. So basically, anybody that does resin knows that sometimes there's issues with bubbles. Now, I do have a really cheap blow dryer that I use. Got it at the thrift store, my favorite place to go. But unfortunately, that doesn't give off enough heat. It gets rid of some of the bubbles, but it doesn't get rid of all the bubbles. Like in this one, it's hard to see any of the bubbles. There's some still in there, but it's hard to see because well, we all saw that before. So anyway, I decided to break down and buy a heat gun. So now I have a heat gun, and this can be used for multiple different things, not just resin. So, if I'm doing projects in the house or something like that, or who knows, if I just want to warm my footsies up without burning them. So basically, maybe I can even heat up reptile food. Alright, so here's the instructions. Which I don't really read instructions that often, but I'll get to that later. And then here is here's the heat gun. New toys. Shit. So here it is, guys. Looks heavy duty, eh? It is a Genesis, whatever that is. Dual temperature heat gun. I'm assuming these are the little these. Yep, the little things just slide on. Yep, I don't think I'll need any of that. So now I can just, hopefully it doesn't blow it all over the place though. We'll have to test it out. So yeah, looks like I'm hitting the big time. Not really. When I get myself an office that I can have to make all my stuff, a workshop, then I'll be happy. Because right now my spread everywhere. Between the backyard still, bathrooms, and out here, yeah. My everywhere. Alright guys, so I just wanted to kind of show you what I got. So I'm going to work on some stuff later. I still have animals to feed today and cleaning a little bit. I'm super excited about this because hopefully it will help with my resin making. You know, when I do make stuff with the resin. I mean, I don't make too much, you know, I mean, I make enough, but not like some. Oh, now I can't even get it back in the box. Hopefully it will improve my work when it comes to that, and then it'll look better, you know? Because, like, even in this little thing, I mean, there's some bubbles in there, but it'll look all right, though, because it looks like it's, you know, underwater floating in bubbles or something like that. But again, it'll help my work in the end. So when I start my new projects with the glycerin, I'll show you the vegetable glycerin. If anyone out there doesn't know, it's through trial and error, of course, and I've also inquired to other oddity makers or taxidermists. Vegetable glycerin works really well on skins, especially snake skins. I don't know how it would work on animal skin as far as like fur on one side. I think that's more like salts. There's a salt-based product you can do for like furs, which I don't do. But the skins, I'm trying this something new, and I'm hoping and keep my fingers crossed it works. That's why I order the more vegetable glycerin. So you do equal parts of vegetable glycerin and alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and you let it soak for 2 or 3 days, which my stuff's already been soaking for a while. But because my stuff soaks for like 2-3 months. And then you take it out and dry it off a little bit, and then you add additional vegetable glycerin, just the glycerin, to the hide, and then you tap off any excess, let it dry, and voila. You have to make sure all the meat is off the skin, which that's my next thing. I need to get a meat scraper, which I think I can maybe find. I mean, if I can't find it on Amazon, I can find it probably in the store. So I need to get a meat scraper because most of the meat's off of these hides, but I need to get the rest off. It includes any fat, anything. It has to be just the skin, or it doesn't work. It leaves stinky smell. So yeah, I'm trying to do some more things, and I'm trying to change some stuff up, and you know, trying to make some other stuff. So anyway, that is it for today, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this. And thanks for watching me open my new heat gun. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And until next time, guys, see you later, alligator.